Welcome everyone to my Charlotte guide. In this guide, I will briefly go over her kit, playstyles, and her artifact options and stats. Then I'll go over weapons, team comps, and constellations. Keep in mind that Charlotte is yet to be released as of making this video, so some things are still subject to change. Charlotte is a 4-star cryo catalyst. She mostly scales off attack and has an attack ascension bonus. Her normal attacks deal 3 hits, and being a catalyst, they deal cryo damage. Her charged attack will deal an instance of Pneuma, a Leonid AoE cryo damage every 6 seconds. Charlotte damage potential comes from her elemental skill. Her skill has 2 modes, tap and hold. Tap deals AoE cryo damage to a maximum of 5 opponents in front of her. Charlotte will also apply Snappy Silhouette to hit opponents, which deals cryo damage to affected opponents once every 1.5 seconds for a duration of 6 seconds. Her hold version is similar to how Nahida's skill work. While holding her skill, Charlotte enters composition mode, and you can tag opponents similar to how Nahida's skill work. When you let go of it, it will deal cryo damage to affected opponents and applies Snappy Silhouette. If you keep holding the skill long enough, you will get the finisher frame and apply Focused Impression instead of Snappy Silhouette. Focused Impression deals more damage and has a 12-second duration instead of 6. Her skill has a normal cooldown of 12 seconds and 18 seconds if get Focused Impression. Charlotte's Elemental Burst creates a field that deals AoE cryo damage to opponents inside. Upon casting her burst, Charlotte heals all party members and then heals your active character inside the burst field. Her burst scales of attack. Her burst field has a duration of 4 seconds, a cooldown of 20 seconds, and an energy cost of 80. Moving on to her passive skill, the first has a passive that lets you take special photos using Charlotte's elemental skill. Her second passive decreases the cooldown of her elemental skill every time an enemy marked by Focused Impression is defeated by 2 seconds. This can be triggered 4 times every 12 seconds. Her third passive increases her healing bonus for each team member from Fontaine and increases cryo damage bonus for each team member not from Fontaine. Now on to playstyles. Charlotte can be played as either a sub-DPS or a healer or both. For a sub-DPS, she can deal cryo damage from off-field using her elemental skill, and she can heal through her burst. I do find her very replaceable in some teams, but for example in a Ryothersley Freeze team with Farina. Charlotte can be one of your best options, as she can heal you and deal decent damage from off-field. Or she can be used for other cryo teams with Farina that need a cryo team-wide healer. Overall, she seems good with some Farina teams and can be run as a sub-DPS in some cryo teams. But with many cryo characters out there, she is easily replaceable by other characters who can do one task better than Charlotte. But if you're looking for both a cryo sub-DPS and a healer, Charlotte is there for you. With that said, if you're going for a support build, I would recommend that you level her burst and then her skill, and after it, normal attack. You also don't need to level her normal attacks, as they don't contribute much. If you're building Charlotte as just a healer, you will want to prioritize her burst. Moving on to artifacts, there are many options to choose from. As a support, she has many sets out there. You could either go for a set that buffs your team, or a set that increases your healing. As a support, my best recommendation would be going with 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith. Tenacity of the Millilith increases all party members' attack when Charlotte's elemental skill hits an opponent. As a support set, I would rank this above others, as it gives you an easy attack buff and can increase your healing if you're using Prototype Amber. I do know Prototype Amber scales on HP opposite to Charlotte, but it can be used really well, and I will go over this in the weapons section. You can also use Noblesse Oblige on Charlotte, but its attack buff comes from using the Elemental Burst. So I would only recommend using this if another party member is using Tenacity of the Millilith. You could also use it if you already have a full set ready. As for other healing sets, in terms of just healing, Maiden's Beloved is the best. Ocean-Hued Clam set is also decent for healing, and can deal damage off-field through its 4-piece effect, but it's not enough damage to outweigh the 20% attack buff from Tenacity of the Millilith or Noblesse Oblige. If you already farmed a full Ocean-Hued Clam set, you could just use it, no need to farm for Maiden's Beloved. Otherwise, you can mix and match healing bonus sets, attack sets, and energy recharge. As for off-field damage from her elemental skill, Golden Troop is the best here since it provides a lot of elemental skill damage bonus. Blizzard Strayer is also not far behind, but to fully activate its passive, you will need to attack enemies affected by freeze. You could also mix a 2-piece attack and cryo damage bonus set. For stats, as a support build, you will likely want an energy recharge Sans, since Charlotte is going to need a lot of energy recharge with her 80 energy burst cost. You should aim for 200% energy recharge. For healing, you will want to go for an attack goblet and a healing bonus circlet. If you are building for damage, you should go for an attack Sans, cryo damage goblet, and a crit rate or damage circlet, depending on which one you need more of. Going over to weapons, starting with support weapons. The best weapon for her healing is still going to be Prototype Amber. Although Charlotte healing scales of attack and Prototype Amber increases HP and scales off it. The party-wide healing you get from Prototype Amber is enough to make up for the loss of attack. In addition to the healing, Prototype Amber also restores energy when using your burst. So in most cases, for a support healer build, I would recommend going for Prototype Amber. Otherwise, weapons with high base attack will heal a lot. Another notable weapon here is Favonius Codex, which may not heal as much as Prototype Amber, but it provides a lot of energy, since its passive generates energy whenever you crit. As a support, it's a really decent weapon, which provides a lot of value for many teams. Oathsworn Eye is another decent weapon, which is only available from an event, but if you have it, Oathsworn Eye provides a lot of attack and increases energy recharge whenever you use your skill. So it's really decent for healing and elevates some energy requirements for Charlotte. Another weapon that I forgot to mention in the graphs is Thrilling Tales of Dragonslayer, a 3-star weapon. Although it has a low base attack and an HP substat, it provides a lot of attack to the character you switch to after Charlotte, making it a great free-to-play support weapon. If you just want to buff your on-field character as much as possible, Thrilling Tales of Dragonslayer is going to be a top-tier option. For damage options, things change a bit. 5-star weapons that have a lot of attack shine more here. Kagura's Verity being a decent option most of the time, since it provides a crit damage bonus and elemental damage bonus each time you cast your skill. Although you will only be able to cast your skill once with Charlotte, Memory of Dust also provides a lot of attack. If your Charlotte is shielded, you will even gain more attack. All 5-star weapons are really close to each other, and the best for you may change depending on your own build. If you still want a bit of healing, weapons that provide more attack will be better than others. For your 4-star option, the Widsith is again a top option with either its attack or elemental damage buff. Flowing Purity being the best craftable since it provides decent attack and elemental damage from its passive. Feel free to pause and compare. Charlotte can shine in some teams when you're pairing her with Furina. Starting with Fontaine teams, you could run her with Neuvillette, Furina, and Kazuha, both to heal and trigger freeze with Neuvillette. She may not be able to heal as much as Jean in this team, but she can be used to allow your Anemo unit to be Kazuha and provide more damage, while still being able to react with Neuvillette. But you may not even need a healer in this team, since Neuvillette can generate a lot of fanfare points from Furina's burst. But for a less riskier team, Charlotte is going to be a good healer with party-wide healing capabilities in this team. Another Fontaine team that stands out is Ryo Thiesley Freeze with Furina. Charlotte with Tenacity of the Millilith can provide an attack buff and team-wide healing to generate points for Furina's damage buff, on top of being a cryo unit to activate the cryo resonance. Charlotte in this team is going to be one of the better cryo healers as she can provide buffs through Tenacity of Millilith. But there are Hydro and Anemo healers who can heal more in this team, such as Barbara and Jean. But with Charlotte, you can free up the Hydro healer unit to be Kazuha or a damage buffing unit, while still having your cryo resonance and healing. Other than Fontaine teams, Charlotte can still be used in other freeze teams and bringing the same benefits as with Ryo Thiesley. And lastly, Constellations. Starting with her C1, after Charlotte heals a character with her burst, she will mark them and heal once every 2 seconds for 6 seconds. This constellation is really nice, as it provides additional healing. For her C2, when Charlotte's elemental skill hits 1, 2, or 3 opponents, Charlotte's attack will be increased by 10, 20, or 30% for 12 seconds. The bonus attack not only increases damage, it also brings more healing if you burst before the attack increased duration runs out. Her C3 increases her elemental burst level by 3, and her C5 increases her elemental skill level by 3. For Charlotte at C4, when her burst hits an opponent marked by her elemental skill, it will deal 10% more damage and restore 2 energy for Charlotte. This energy restoration can be triggered 5 times every 20 seconds. This constellation is really nice for Charlotte's energy requirements as it will lower it a bit. As for Charlotte's C6, when your active character's normal attacks hit an opponent marked by Charlotte's elemental skill, her elemental skill will launch a follow-up attack that deals 180% of attack as AoE Creo Damage. Additionally, it heals your active character by 42% of Charlotte's attack. This effect can only trigger once every 6 seconds. Overall, her constellations help you increase your healing and decrease your energy requirement by bit. But that's all from this guide. Thank you for making it to the ends, and thank you for watching.